Hot mic, people.
Yeah.
All right, so you're being recorded.
All right.
Right button, 3 seconds. When the red goes away, as long as the red's on, you're being recorded. And doing an audio test, it looks, of course, I'm pretty close to it, but we're good. All right.
Thank you, Tom.
You bet.
Do you have is there a written description of our responsibilities that you can give everyone to remind them?
Yes, you should have gotten a packet when you joined.
I'll
In
just
the
ask
back.
for a replacement on that
Okay,
person.
that's fine. I got another one.
Are we spaced out?
You are right there in front, sir. You're in the hot seat.
That's not right.
Comes with the title.
Tom?
And we are being recorded already, so
Why?
just letting you know. Because Tom had a funeral to go to, so he set it up early.
Thanks for bringing
And
that
just a
up.
reminder.
So we have a
to-
hot mic,
Oh, hot mic.
so when we start
To mute
talking
your
bad about the
phones.
mayor and stuff, we have to stop, so.
Oh, we have nothing good to say about him. Didn't shrink. How's life going this summer? Looks like you guys have started off to a bang down there, huh?
Oh, at the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we recruited Kirk to be on the board just before I resigned.
Well,
Because I was doing a lot of the marketing and I needed somebody to do marketing. And we did a couple of his radio plays, you know, little short, stupid things, and they were fun. But they got us going, and they got another show opening next week that I just cut a radio spot for. So.
awesome. I know we pulled up that band that Amanda's in last night. And
Oh, and the
that-
yeah, the
Horn dogs.
The horn
Horn
dogs.
Dogs, yeah,
Yeah,
the
it
Horn
was-
Dogs.
Yeah, pretty good music, huh?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not a drinker,
Uh-huh.
but I went to the concert they did at the theater.
Uh-huh.
And I went and I had 3 glasses of wine. And I was so tipsy, that's all I could talk about.
Morning, hi. How are you? Good. How are you?
I had 3 glasses of wine and I got to see her sitting on. You know, and I think, what a stupid drunk. All you can talk about is how many glasses of wine. You know?
Oh, perfect, okay, thank you.
But they were good, I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
How fun is this? I didn't have to worry at all.
The singer, the lead singer was, the female lead singer was pretty good. And they get another lead singer behind some drums.
You got him to drink wine.
I did, it was an exciting time.
Yeah. I just,
The juice was flowing, the tunes were jamming, it was a good time.
I'm a cheap drunk.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Jerry pulled it up last night at a blues board meeting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, we
I
were
liked
asked to.
I think it was a Chicago song that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saturday in the Park, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah, it is. I've always liked that song.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
We were
I
asked
just-
to play Americana Fest, but I'm gonna be out of town for the
That's-
wedding, which is such a
I know.
bummer.
We had Jason talking to you last night.
Yeah, I really would have, I mean, maybe at the next one, we'll see.
Yeah. It's gonna be pretty cool if everything works out right there at that Sister Banana Park.
Yeah, right?
It's really gonna be
I
nice.
think so too. Mhm. Totally. So may I open this, or should I wait?
Oh, no, it's from, I think it's an invitation to participate in
Oh,
the
great, okay.
blessing and dedication of the park.
Howdy.
Wow,
Wow.
You're over here, huh?
We're gonna find out what everybody looks like in real person.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, welcome. How come we're not up here?
Kind of.
Don't
And
know.
there's a difference between that?
I have no idea.
I'm being a smart aleck.
We're hot mic already, so be
Oh.
careful.
Okay, well.
All the people you wanted to talk bad about you.
I have to be out here at 10:30.
Okay, tell the boss. He's
Who's
leaving
the
the
boss? I
meeting.
have to be out here at 10:30.
10:30.
Is
I
he-
I'd like to go take a swim.
Oh, I have to go to work. I hate you. That's on the record. I hate people that.
You know, they were having yesterday morning when I went at 10, they were having swim yoga. So it's good.
Swing
Started
But
at
I'm
nine.
sure it's back up. There's no way I could go.
Can I
At
get this
nine?
to you?
Yeah.
I know this is kind of a pain, you know, at a meeting, but I was either that or I was gonna run by the store.
Oh, I'll take it now.
Money and everything's in there.
Do we have a pen? Do I have
This
a
is my
pen?
4th year doing this.
Yeah,
I have a pen.
I have a pen in here. It's just me get onto my purse.
How'd you like that place Mary sent you yesterday?
Huh?
How'd you like that place Mary sent you to yesterday?
It was nice. It was nice. Yeah.
Good food there.
I ran away from work yesterday, you guys. I had a meltdown and I ran away from work. Today is
The 9th.
already.
Already. It happens fast.
So we're off here today?
All right.
I didn't get an agenda.
You didn't get an agenda? Was it start with the minutes? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Here.
But I could do my phone. I could do my phone.
I know. I printed it for the mayor, but he's not gonna be here.
Oh, she got us. Leave it to him.
Where do we sit? Am I down here?
I
Are you the teacher of the class?
But she's got hers
Marty
here.
threw me to the wolves up there.
What's good?
Good morning, how are you?
I think it's an invitation from Chimino's for the dedication and blessing of Sister Bundy.
I'm gonna be there anyway, but that's all right.
I lost my hat.
Your what? Your hat?
Yeah, my buffalo hair hat that I wear all
Just
the
a quick
time.
reminder, you are live. We got a hot mic already because Tom had to go to a funeral. And don't forget to mute your phones.
I'm doing that right now. We went for a walk this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. My group all wore pajamas.
Nice.
But we refused to take a picture.
No selfies?
No selfies today. We said absolutely
Not
not.
today. Any other day, maybe.
Cruising along.
Anything exciting? Are you helping Main Street Life?
Yeah, I was in the last 2 little shows
Oh.
that Kurt Loudon wrote, the radio, the strange, crazy.
They were pretty
weird.
enjoyable. They were pretty good.
They were fun.
They were fun. A little shocking, but they were fun.
Oh,
In a good
really?
way. A little bit.
Yeah, they're a little bit blue.
Yeah, but I loved it. As long as you got the right crowd.
Yeah, I think we shocked Pat Fletcher. She left with this look of horror on her face. She's pretty open-minded about most things. I told Kirk, I said, you either doing a lot of drugs or you're demented.
I think it's the latter.
Because I also saw his movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Right, I know my daughter was the blonde screaming in that movie.
Oh, yeah? 13 souls, yeah. Actually, I was impressed with it for a B-minus movie, but
Oh, yeah, they did it here in Trinidad.
yeah.
They had a different name for it when it first came out. It was like,
13 souls.
before it came out, they had another name for it. And then after it came out, they decided to change the name of it. It was like,
Diggers, wasn't it?
yeah, it was
That's it, with a
Diggers.
Z.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
I'm just checking to see if Christy's coming, Tom.
Okay.
How was Jerry's meeting yesterday?
You know, I didn't get to see my husband too much yesterday, but I guess it was okay. I didn't talk to him about it really because I was gone and then he had a Blues Fest meeting right after that, so, you know.
Who we waiting for, Marty?
Christy Rogers.
Morning, Marty.
Morning, Si.
You know, I don't know if this was opened or not. Thought it was such a nice gesture, somebody left one for me, but I'm thinking they had a taste out of it. It might not be fast moving a drink of it.
Does anybody want water? There's some in the fridge.
I would
I'll
love
take
one.
one.
Two?
I don't even.
Did you swim this morning, Tom?
No, I'm gonna go as soon as this meeting's over.
Okay, would you start the meeting?
Do you swim in our local pool ever when it's in the summertime? So you go-
That's why
Oh, yeah.
I switched
Oh,
to
did you?
this, yeah.
Man, I hope they put a
It's-
roof over it.
Yeah, they're talking about it. They
Yeah.
have a chunk of money to do it.
Yeah,
And they wanna do it to where they can open it up also
yeah,
in the summer.
yeah, no, it's
Is it
fantastic.
the city pool?
Yeah.
I've never been up there. I need to go.
Really? Oh, you have to. The only thing that was wrong with that pool is when they built it and that whole center, they should have put it from the highway, you can see it, so it looks like an amenity to the city of Trinidad, because it is an amenity, and it's a beautiful little water park.
Well, I hear
But
people talk about it all the time, but
But you gotta know it, like you wouldn't like stumble onto it unless you lived right around it.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't even see it from Santa Fe Trail, and it basically parallels Santa Fe Trail.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the water temperature was good. Yes, I swam 2 miles yesterday.
Man,
The detour off of Santa Fe Trail
Uh-huh.
gets you closer to it,
Yeah.
and that's the first time I saw it. I was trying to get to the radio station, and was like, oh, I bet that's not.
yeah.
no answer and no
Okay.
response to the text, so we'll move her down and see if she shows up.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the regular session of the Trinidad City Tourism Board at 9:05. Roll call?
Campbell,
Here.
Kress,
Here.
Luttrell,
Here.
Michaels,
Here.
Miller.
Here.
There her is.
Here it is.
Petitions or communications, oral or written? Do we have any today?
Nobody's here, so I guess not.
Okay. Approval of minutes from May the 12th, 2021.
I motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Campbell,
Yes.
Kress,
Yes.
Luttrell,
Yes.
Michaels,
Here. Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Approval of invoices. Did everybody get a chance to look at them?
I did. I motion to approve.
And these are not the renewals. That's coming up in the,
Right,
further down
that's
the line.
coming up,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll second.
These are just for the ones that are up.
Okay.
Campbell,
Yes.
Kress,
Yes.
Luttrell,
Yep.
Michaels,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Just one note on that, postage has gone up $1.80 per.
$1.80 more?
It is $1.80 now.
Okay.
It was $1.45 when we finished last year, we finished sending them out. Went to $1.60 when we got them in and I started sending them out again. And just last week, I waited again and it was $1.80, so. The few that I sent out that were $1.60, 5 of them came back postage due.
Oh.
So it's a little pricey to send those babies out now.
How many did you send out a lot last month, Marty? or-
It's on the fulfillment report, the postage report, Tom.
All right.
70, it looks like.
Old business, gravel guide, grant request?
The gravel guide grant request was tabled at the last 2 meetings. You wanted to discuss it further. They had originally asked for $5,000. And they're a hot little item. Just letting you know, a lot of people come in to get them.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually paid for the rights from Stephen Blinsky, who actually did the maps inside, so that we could blow them up and put them on the walls at Club 14. And we're also getting other maps of the city, including the golf course, and putting them in there. So going to the restaurant will be more of a tourism experience.
Cool.
Did you ever get with them, Marty, as to when they reprint, if we can have an ad on it?
They're not redesigning, they're just reprinting.
Just reprinting, so we would just be giving them money then, right, to print
Well,
it?
we do have our ad in there, the tourism board has the ad in there.
Yeah. And we bought that ad, right?
Yes.
That's the ad inside, and then this is an insert, correct?
This is just.
No,
their
this is
No,
a
no, no.
reprint of the original guide.
Oh,
The
thank
booklet.
you.
They're just reprinting the booklet.
I see it as we had put other things kind of in this advertising pool rather than a grant cycle pool, and using some of our advertising money to promote the city. I've been working at Moose's for the last few weeks, and we have had a bunch of bikers come through asking about the gravel guides. I think they're a great asset to the community, and I would say, you know, maybe without the full 5,000, we could throw some of that advertising money to them, being that we've got an ad in there. The ad, I think, was only like $250, so it was very low cost. And I think we could put a little bit more money toward the gravel guide. That's where I'm at.
I think it's good. I think it's just a good way of advertising Trinidad more. So
And there are a lot of bikers coming through, and it's just the beginning of summer. I can't imagine who else is going to be.
I went to
going
that
through.
new Shields
Mhm.
sporting goods store,
Mhm.
and then they have a bike section in there.
Do they have the gravel guide there?
And you know, and in that bike section on the wall, they have all the different areas, a map of all the different areas in Springs where you can go intermediate or either way, any way you ride bikes.
Mhm.
It's on the wall as to where you can go in the city.
Cool.
So that would be cool if we could put that somewhere in the city, that map like that. I took a picture of it, but I think it's pretty cool.
That might be a suggestion you would make to Steve Beniski, so that, you know, he could do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've got that
Yeah.
Fisher Speak Outfitters that's going to be coming.
Yeah,
At
even on
some
those,
point this summer.
like this board here on Main Street right here, would be a good place too, because I noticed that they're empty. There's nothing in the.
Well,
logos.
before I put anything in the empty spots, I need
Yeah.
new glass and plastic put on. And I am talking to Penny Said on it. I don't know if she is doing anything. If she doesn't do it, I'm jumping in on it.
Well,
So,
let's talk about that a little bit, because you always do so much and so great. I don't want you putting your money into it. It was purchased through the tourism board, and if it needs to be redone, we shouldn't need to be.
well,
redone.
I did talk to Penny Said, and she had told me that part of that money that she was asking for us in the city, it was included in on that.
Uh-huh.
So I asked her to do it ASAP. That should be done right away. And if she doesn't, I might step in. I will text her again, but before we put pamphlets up on the other side in the
Right.
two, they're just gonna get wet and dirty and everything. So I've got right now stuff in the main one, because those two glasses are okay. I need the plastic or the glass, and I know somebody that will cut glass or plastic for me in a heartbeat, probably will not charge me at all.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, and he might just charge me for the glass, the plastic, but he won't charge me the thing, and he'll probably go put it in there for me too. So I'm waiting to hear from Penny back. That's only necessary because the Main Street did take it over. So I will work on it, and that would be a great place to put a map there.
Right, and the only reason I say that is because you are the best. I can't say enough good things about you.
Well, I've neglected it. I'm gonna
But
be very
Main
honest,
Street
I've
has zero
neglected it.
money. They have to go to the city for money. They're not
Right,
like us.
but I think they got that. She said they did get grant
Oh, they
money
did get
for
grant
that.
money.
I
Oh, okay.
can't verify that, but I will talk to her again.
Okay.
I've been kind of a little busy with the farmer's market.
Okay. No, you've been crazy busy. I know
But I am
that
working
Main
on
Street
that.
doesn't have it. It would be like Penny then to go out and spend her money.
Mm.
And since it's a city amenity that we purchased, I just want to make sure that we take care of it outside, because Penny will do the same thing. She'll throw her money in, but it's really not the respect.
Well, I'm working, and then I just go have this guy go over there, measure it, and give me the glass. I would rather have glass, but he might put the plastic in, which is fine with me too. So, you know, I'm gonna let him run with that, whatever he
Yeah,
wants to do.
right.
So we are working on it. I will try to get it up and going real quick here.
Sorry that throws off.
Okay.
No, I just-
Go ahead, sorry.
I just know in the background how the funding happened for all
Yeah.
that, and it's all our personal funding, and it's
Yeah.
kind of, like, we all do it, but it's kind of like not right, you know?
Okay.
Chris, you want to say anything on the gravel bike?
No, I think it's a good idea, but I had told Amanda about the president of the WRCA, Working Ranch Cowboy Association, lives near Morello. And when I said something about us on him, I said, I moved up here. He says, man, we used to get on our Harleys and ride to Trinidad, go to Bob and Earl's and eat, turn around and ride back here in Morello. And I said, before 2014? Or I said, oh, way back, many years. So it wasn't, you know, the obvious reason,
Right.
you know, to come up in one day and go back. It was to take the ride.
Yeah.
Camille,
I have nothing. You go, you know, I'm open.
so all we use a number?
Yes.
Okay, they had originally asked for 5,000.
Uh-huh.
I think we could go for 2,000. Sounds okay.
Sounds
I think
good.
that gives them a nice number to work with to print
Sounds-
a couple more guides.
Yeah.
And, you know, because the way Stephen did those maps, which was really fantastic, and I heard in the city that this project started surprisingly like 10 years ago, I didn't know that. But with different bike routes that Juan was involved in, which was really great, because I know that Juan really knows his bike stuff really great. And I would like to maybe know if we, because of those bike routes, if maybe we would entertain talking to Stephen, because I've talked to him a lot, so I can get the maps, so, and see if he can produce like a Riverwalk map, so that they're all the same theme, so that if he produced a map of how far the Riverwalk goes in town, or some of the other maps that we would want for us to be used, like the historical walking trail map, so that we, at some point in the future, we could actually put together, like I'm trying to do, is we just put maps on the wall, but is that we could actually have a guide in the city for all the trails, not only biking, but walking and hiking.
Yeah.
Because his work is so
The
fabulous.
design is really cool.
Yeah.
It really appeals. It's appealing. It's lovely.
So the Office of Outdoor Recreation is working with Wally on putting together an outdoor recreation guide. So that is being discussed, and that might be where that lives, will be in that guide.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I make a motion to give them two.
And I'll second.
And are we doing this out of the
Advertising.
advertising budget rather than the
Right.
Grant.
grant?
Right.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Camilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Cy?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Audio tour update. Christie?
Oh, yeah. So we are working on like bringing in all the feedback from different entities in terms of updating the guide. And now I started recording actually as of, Marty had provided the script. So we needed the script. And then also when you look at the app, basically what you'll see, I'm working with Tom Potter and some folks at DPL, Denver Public Library, to gather historical photos of each site, which is like 40-something photos. So I've been like digging through all these archives, but it's really fun. I mean, and it's amazing what's still there. So it'll be a historical photo, and then for accessibility reasons, we want to be sure that in addition to audio, we're also providing the exact same content in script form so that someone can read it if they're hearing impaired.
Right.
And so that'll be in the app as well. And so I basically started working on configuring the app a long time ago. And now that I'm getting the script, now I'm doing the recording. So it's coming along, and I'm really going to push it. Like, that's going to be one of my top ranking projects for the next couple of weeks, because I want to get it out there. If people
Right.
are walking
Yes.
around and looking for things to do, and so but it's going to be really cool. I'm very excited about it. So,
Great.
and as soon as I'm ready for people to preview it, I want to share it with you all.
Right.
And then if you would, I would love for you to listen to at least excerpts of it and let me know what you think before we send it out live to the
Great.
larger group, if that works.
Sounds great.
But yeah, it's coming along. So it's a great project. And I think
We work at midnight, so we're.
yeah, we were exchanging emails at midnight last night. We were. That's the thing that was happening. Yeah. So. But yeah, so that's the update for now, and I think I said this last time I met with you all to discuss this. If you have any questions ever, or even any input, please feel free to. I mean, if you don't have my contact, you can get it from Marty, but feel free to reach out directly. That's absolutely fine with me. So
And thank you, Cy, for helping out with that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
definitely,
Like the walking tour, it's out of that booklet, right?
correct.
So,
hmm
did you take any of I noticed there's plaques throughout the city. Did you take any of those plaques that describe any of the buildings of them, or just what was in the booklet?
Well, so we went pretty specifically off of the yellow booklet.
Uh-huh.
I suppose. I mean, we're certainly at the point where we could incorporate the information on those plaques.
It was just a thought,
Yeah,
I didn't know.
and the tour, like in the app, there is also one of the other things that I want to do, especially for some of the entities where they look vastly different,
Uh-huh.
or maybe they don't even exist anymore, but we're still directing people to the site where they once stood. Having some kind of marker where where if I'm on the tour, I can be like, oh, I'm in the right place.
Right.
You know, so there's room for things like that.
Okay.
And I plan on walking my tour, you know, like after it's
Great,
done
after
and
you
we're
do
done
it,
doing
yeah.
it. I plan on walking what I've kind of laid out to make sure that it makes sense and that from a walkability perspective that the GPS isn't taking them like through the roundabout or something
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So, and I did want to mention too, just as an aside, I hope it's okay. Arts and culture. I'm vice chair for that board, and I'm in charge of developing a walking art tour. And I have recruited Stephen Beneski to do the map for that. So in terms of continuity and consistency, and hearing this, just happening to be sitting here, I may coach him to do something that's stylistically similar to the gravel guide maps, because I love those as well.
Yeah,
they're so good.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, they're so, and are blown up. I'm sure
Yeah.
they're just awesome.
Yeah,
you know.
really pretty.
Yeah, so just to ensure consistency there, I can mention that to him. So yeah, that's the update so far.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, his little note on the Al's Getaway or whatever for the Al's Getaway. It's
Yeah.
Al Capone's ride from Trinidad to
Yeah.
Aguilar and back.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just really tasteful, really
Mm-hmm.
nice enough to hang in the Broadmoor, a collection of maps.
Yeah.
Unbelievable job.
Well, and the pictures and the images, you know,
Yeah.
are really pretty almost iconic, you know. So yeah,
Cool. Okay, great, thank you.
certainly.
New business, art walk, trolley use.
I guess you're on again, Christine.
That's me too. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, I apologize for walking in a few minutes late. I had an early morning meeting that ran a little past what I expected. So, yeah. So regarding the trolley, and Camilla and I had already discussed this sort of in an offhand fashion on this last Friday. So we're kind of, Paula Little had reached out to me a week before last, and she was doing the art walk kind of all by her lonesome, and so I decided to jump in and kind of handle the social media side and handle kind of some of the more digital design aspects. And in talking with her, we've kind of evolved the idea. Originally, and you may have heard, there was talk about shutting down the streets. I think we've opted not to do that, except for, I guess, during Arttoberfest, exactly. Like she mentioned, yeah, there's going to be in October. Obviously, the streets are going to be shut down for the bicentennial. That also happens to fall on a first Friday, so we're going to kind of leverage that and have like artist demos and things like that, like some more interactive activities and lots of music. But we'll be coordinating very closely, obviously, with Marty and team to make sure there are no duplicated efforts or conflicting activities there. But regarding the trolley for First Fridays, one of the things that I think could be pretty interesting and maybe appropriate at this point in Trinidad's kind of expansion, because we've got Tabula Rasa all the way down there, we've got Art Cartopia kind of out, and different entities that are kind of springing up as I've been talking with people who would be interested in participating in First Fridays, but it doesn't make sense because for them right now, as things stand, as a walking activity, solely walking, I guess, because a lot of the activities are concentrated in a certain part on Main Street. And so what we've kind of kicked around is having the trolley do the tour and be specifically for the tour, where basically you'd have a driver and they're focused on driving, but we'd also have a docent who I have a portable PA that he could use. I don't know if you all know Nate Lund. He does improv comedy and tours, and he actually was the gentleman who was in the Gravel Guide, dressed up like a sort of professor type. That's Nate. And so he's got this very kind of scholarly kind of attitude about him. So the idea would be he would be there with a microphone, interacting in real time with the people on the trolley, doing events promotion, so talking about other events in Trinidad, fun facts about Trinidad and history of Trinidad as we pass certain points in the tour. You know, he could be discussing interesting things that would be interesting to visitors, and then also announcing the stops and talking about the galleries themselves and maybe artists in Trinidad. Maybe he could talk about A.R. Mitchell and kind of the history there. So there's lots of ways that we could go with it in terms of developing the script so that it promotes multiple aspects of Trinidad in addition to serving as a mode of transport for people. So that's kind of the direction that we want things to go.
And then this is just going to be used on First Friday?
Correct. Yeah, and we're thinking that it would run from 5 to maybe 9, because there, especially as we may do kind of a sort of scaled down route to start to kind of trial it, and then the idea, I hope the way that it goes is as more entities see, because I'm trying to pay very close attention to where there is not traffic and figure out ways to get traffic there. And whether that means placing musicians right in front of venues that don't see as much activity, or like having certain activities built into the art walk that really drive people to go to these spots that are less visited. But the trolley would really help with that, because no one's going to walk to Tabula Rasa. I love Amanda,
But we also discussed going up there with the trolley, going up to Amanda's and going up to Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
That's an hour and a half ride, and you're going to have people stuck there, or they would have to walk back on their own.
Yeah.
And that would be a complaint probably of some people downtown, especially if we do go up to the motels, and I do think we need to go up to the motels.
We have an idea for that.
That is something, that is a huge drive.
So that was my next question.
Yeah.
Because that would be a long hour and a half circle around, and I think that is too long, especially if the people come to Trinidad and want to get back up to the motel.
Will those people will have an option to either stay or just see there for a moment and then get back on, or is the plan is to drop them all off and keep moving?
Well, either way, you're going to delay that trolley a long time.
Yeah.
If you stay there 20 minutes and wait for somebody to go in.
Yeah.
Or if she's got music up there, or if they're going to go into Arcade, that's a little ways, and you're going to delay this. This is going to be an hour tour that we used to have into an hour and a half, maybe even longer, and we got to watch ourselves because those people from the motels, the tourists that we're trying to bring downtown, might.
Well, the one thing, if you go back onto the thing, the way we had set it up originally was they're going to be let off, and then they know the certain times that they're going to be able to get back on.
Right.
So one of those
The
times
schedule.
is, that's the time when they hitch a ride back on,
I understand that when we stop at the corner here and we stop down there. But when you tell somebody you drop it off at Amanda's place at 6 o'clock at night and say, we'll see you at 7:30, that might be hard to swallow from somebody.
So they're going to know that, because
They will know that.
Yeah,
because
they'll know
their
that.
trolley's going to have a time set.
Right.
So
we're actually kind of, and Camilla and I had a great conversation on Friday, which was super helpful to me in terms of, because I'm, I had, First Fridays hadn't been happening for that long.
Right.
And then things kind of got switched around, and there's, kind of, as I'm talking with more people about it, I'm learning more about kind of the build there, so one of the things that I was thinking is, we could handle the trolley a few different ways, but obviously have a schedule that it operates off of, but also just thinking in terms of, each of these entities, if they want to be on the tour, would need to understand, for example, Art Cartopia would need to have things to entertain people, for that period of time.
Right.
Amanda would have to be mindful, and she would probably have music happening on that patio anyway. But I was thinking, in terms of like the sheer amount of time, like, for the trolley to go up to the hotels and then back down, if we had a separate, whether the trolley is designated only for the hotels to transport people back and forth, and we acquire a different mode of transportation, which I think we could through Art Cartopia. Like, he's got some really large vehicles that we could probably fashion into an art walk specific mode of transport, which could be kind of hilarious to have an art car be the bus, and basically have those be two separate things, because in my mind, at least, the tour is an experiential kind of thing, right? And then the hotels, the transport back and forth, that's kind of a functional service that we're providing to people.
And I see no problem with it being incorporated in with both of them.
Yeah.
It's just a time frame that
Yeah.
everybody would realize what the time frame is on them.
Yeah.
And we had a pretty good schedule when we did do it, and it pretty much stayed on all the time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it wasn't real successful, I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think the most we
It
had was
was
like,
its first year, so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think also too, because TSJC, so I'm going to be opening a makerspace there in the fall. And then Eiley Reiling is really excited about the idea. She and I are talking about partnering, have the art department showcase some things for First Friday. So I think we don't want to like have the current infrastructure be limiting to external entities that maybe are a little bit outside of Main Street or downtown who are interested in participating. And maybe those entities just like drive there in your car, to get there. But I think it would be very cool for visitors to town who don't know their way around if we could figure something out. So that's why I'm saying like we're going to start small and maybe think about scaling out.
No, that's a great idea for
Yeah.
that. So Rhonda, which you probably has been really excited about trying to bring Trinidad State College
Yes.
in downtown
Yes.
area, is maybe on Fridays, there's an area that they can have like a pop-up something.
That's true.
So that people that might not even want to take the drive but are walking around from out of town go, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, there's a college here? I didn't know there was a
That's a
college
great
here."
idea. Yeah. Yeah.
So if we could find a space,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe we could approach the college and let them know, because I know she's really wanted to attack the college downtown so much.
Yeah, she is. That's the
Yeah.
whole reason why we're doing the makerspace is economic development of the
Yeah,
town.
no, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So that's kind of in discussion, and if you all would like to mull it over, that's totally fine. Nate Lund is I think probably the ideal person for the docent. He's not going to be here for July 2nd anyway. So and we're still. I'm trying to build this slowly and strategically rather than just like throw
Throw
a
it
bunch
out
of mud
there.
at the wall and hope it sticks kind of deal. So it's okay if you all want to mull it over and think about it. And I'm talking with other entities about other options for transport because I want to approach this as carefully as possible to avoid complaints and also to make sure that that it's doing what we want it to do. So
Probably the thing with Cartopia would be the liability of,
we'd have of course liability and insurance and all that. We'd definitely have to be very careful about that. So yeah.
Okay, I think we need to, we'll take some time to
Yeah.
think about
Take
what
some
we
time.
want
What
the
we're
trolley to
gonna-
really, be in town for.
Mm-hmm.
For one night a month, I think it could be a really cool thing to get
Sure.
people to some of those other places. So yeah, I think we just need to.
like I went downtown on Friday and what was nice was there wasn't a lot of people, but like two places had musicians, which was
Mhm.
which was good, and
We're going for 4 or 5 next time.
yeah, I think it's I can remember when it was really nice when there was a lot of people and the galleries, the Mitchell always did something.
Yep.
And I think that
Yep.
if they all got on board, I think it could be a really good thing. And
Mhm.
you working on it like that, I think it could be built back up to that.
Yeah, hoping.
I think some of the businesses, and I'm included on one of them, versus the Market Gallery and Cortisone, and I try to stay open, Christie. I stay
Mhm,
until
mhm.
6:15, yay!
You did, you did.
I did, and that's because I had people across the street on the boardwalk that I was yelling them back and forth.
Yeah, I know. You were yelling at me. Yeah.
So anyway, the thing of it is the difference between that and that. And I know
Yeah.
I'm going to use Vivica as exchange right now. She's got a couple girls working for her.
Yeah.
And her daughters absolutely told her, no more late night, Mom. No more Sundays. You can't do it. And she's paying these girls already money. Somebody like me who works by herself, who's there 6 days a week, and
It's a
they're
lot.
going to ask me to do Friday night
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple stores that are like that.
Mhm.
And I'm sure it's that way with Mitchell too, because they have volunteers, but it's up
Yep.
to, the director to stay. If she's gonna stay, then she's gotta
Yep.
work extra. So it's
Yep.
really hard to get them going. And I think once we see, and I'm gonna be very honest, the first Friday Art Walk that we had, that was the first week I had seen less travelers in town in a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
But that was last week, and we
Yeah.
did see, I don't know about the restaurants, how they work.
Mhm.
I don't know about the motels, but I didn't see that
Yeah.
many tourists downtown last week.
Yeah.
So that probably hurt our Friday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
just the way it is.
Yeah, well,
You know.
and I've been thinking about your end of the street because, like I said, we had a really good conversation about it, and I'm definitely trying to be super open-minded about it, and you know, I think other individuals who participated in it before, you know, maybe have a preconceived notion of how it will be or how it is going to go. But I mean, we can do whatever we want, you know, as a collective, as a community, and build it however we want to benefit the majority, you know. And so I'm thinking about, like, for sure on Friday, if you want to participate, and if entities down at your end of the street want to participate, I'm going to have music down there to drive people down there.
I want Nancy to shut that side of the street down like Jay did. So there you go.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
work on that.
to shut down
Yeah,
Main
I'm
Street.
gonna make, don't you think?
It was a blast.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, just
we
a
gotta
small
shut down
section,
the-
just a small
one
section. That
block.
was perfect. Yeah,
One
that was.
block.
I
But
think,
But we'll see.
I think if there was even more retail in the Frank block in the
Yeah.
Taylor building, you'd probably benefit a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
huge. I was
Yeah.
hoping Carlos would be in by July 1st.
He's in by
He's not
August,
until
so-
August 1st,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, that's just like the way
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm okay with it. Because I do work
Right.
a lot, and I'm
Right.
willing to stay there, but
Well,
we'll move on.
and we are doing this time around, I printed up, and we're going to make them a little nicer for this next time, but I printed up, I created a logo for First Fridays, and any participating business will have that logo, and like will basically tell people, like, look for the logo in the window, and that's an entity that's participating. And so, like, if there's a day when you know, like maybe a gallery owner who is running it by themselves, or a business owner is out of town, or like maybe just is exhausted and needs to go home. Like, you know, you just take it down, and then you're not participating that day. And so leaving that flexibility, I think, is really important. I'm a business owner too, and I know there's some days when it's just not possible to do the extra, you know. So trying to make it as user friendly for participants as well, you know. So yeah, and once again, I'll reiterate, feel free to, as you're thinking about this, send me comments, send me thoughts, ideas, feedback, things you hear from people about, you know, because we're really trying to do this the right way. So, yeah.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
We'll let you go one more time, huh?
Oh, am I talking again? What am I talking about?
Just 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
I need a motion to table the art walk.
I make a motion to table the art walk.
I'll second.
You're doing everything.
We are.
All in
Okay.
favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay. Website.
Yeah. Wait, is that talking about the hosting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
changing the host.
Yeah. There's really not too much that you guys. I won't bore you with the technical details. Basically, GoDaddy. So, does everybody know what I mean when we talk about hosting?
Yeah.
Okay. So, GoDaddy has been who we've been using. There are various aspects that have been issues with their customer service and with the information that they provide, and et cetera. And so I had been kind of shopping around for an alternative. They're also very expensive for what they offer, in my opinion. And so I found an entity that I think is going to work, and it's actually going to be less money. And we're coming up for renewal with GoDaddy next month. So it's very timely for us to go ahead and make that switch. So I have an appointment with a gentleman tomorrow to discuss kind of like a comparison contrast, and because once again want to be really strategic about it, but it's not looking like it's going to cost any more money, and is in fact going to save us money.
Awesome.
And I'll give you guys those numbers, you know, of course, but yeah, I think all in all it's going to be a win-win-win-win kind of deal.
So Christy's been experiencing some communication issues.
We'll call them that.
Whenever we have problems and she tries to contact them to get them fixed, they send her to one person and they say one thing and then it doesn't get done, and so she has to talk to somebody else, and they're not communicating with the first person she spoke to. And it's been very frustrating to get any issues that we're having with the website resolved.
Exactly. There have been things that have been ongoing for about 6 months. And I finally talked to a manager the last time I spoke with them, and this was kind of the last straw that broke the camel's back. But basically, in talking with him, I was kind of laying out, like, well, this is the chronological sequence of events where I was told this, and then this happened, and this, you know. And all in all, it's just been a really... And he was very apologetic, of course, and everything, and said, well, let me offer you a free credit of WordPress, premium support, right? And so I was like, okay, like, yeah, you can, if it's free, like, that's fine, you know. And what he did, in fact, was sign us up for a subscription. And so then it drafted from the credit card, and then like they didn't give us a refund, and so then I had to call, and so now I'm dealing with them, and we'll get the refund, but just things like that, you know. So anyway, sorry
Kind of
to
changed, yeah.
sorry to complain about the drama, you know, but that's, you know.
If you get us prices by the next work session, and then we can either make like an emergency, or not an emergency, but a call to meeting. so
I
we
think
can-
we have
you can
proof for you to
approve
go
it.
forward with us and give some information
Then
back. We
what-
need
I
a
would
letter to go
not
forward
wait.
with.
Okay, just so
Yeah.
it works out time-wise, so we
Yes.
don't, you know,
Yes.
renewal or
Yep,
anything.
exactly. Yeah, I was hoping to have all the numbers. There was one other option I wanted to explore, and
Sure.
the gentleman who specializes in that couldn't meet until tomorrow.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have had all that for you today. That's
So
what I've been working on.
tomorrow, you should pretty much know where you're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So I make a motion for her to go ahead and start doing that. That's what you want, right?
I mean, as long as it's not going to
As long as
incur
it's not
additional
gonna cost us
expenses.
anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
As
Long as
long
it
as
doesn't
there's
cost us any
no
more.
additional cost, then we can move
Yeah.
over.
Is
Yeah.
that going to require you to redesign the whole website?
No.
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 That's really good.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Good.
No. No. In fact, this is a WordPress specific hosting
Yeah.
support. That's why I went to these, like looked at these guys,
Sure.
because there's a big difference between different CMS
Mhm.
platforms,
Okay.
content management platforms. So
Yeah, the template's the same. The-
yeah, nothing will change
everything
from the front end.
Existing in the website now,
Fantastic.
just
Yeah.
a new host.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So somebody new that who worked with
And
us.
less lag, and I mean some of these issues that have been ongoing should go away. So
And maybe even now you can find the proper channels as to where you go.
yes.
To the go-to people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have like a person that I can call and be
Right.
like, "Hey,
Right.
Eddie, this isn't working." Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
where
let's
do I
get
go
this
from
fixed.
here? Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
it's
Did
Great.
we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Thank you, Christine.
Any opposed? Thank you.
thank you, dear.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing with
Yeah,
that page
certainly.
also.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Or you can stay. I mean, I'm just saying, you are dismissed, but you can stay.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, believe it or not, I have another. I'm doing a class today, so.
Thank you,
Wow.
Christie.
All right, yeah, thank you all. It's through the Spanish Peaks, I forget the acronym, but it's bookkeeping for small businesses.
Okay.
They're doing all these really cool educational, you know, and I'm like, you can always learn more, right? So, yeah. Awesome, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.
Okay.
New business, Mile High Outdoor Billboard renewal.
So this is the digital billboard that we have up north. And is that in your packet?
Yeah.
Okay. So the total amount is $9,100. It's $700 per month. It'll run from July 19th to July 17th of 2022.
This is the one we got the slamming deal on last year.
Now, is this going back to the original price, or is this,
No, it hasn't changed.
it hasn't changed?
So it's still a
Same
great
price.
deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I've seen it about 5 times.
Where is it located?
It's right as you get to the lower part of Monument, to the right-hand side. You know where the port of entry is at, right there?
When you're coming south.
When you're coming south.
When you're
if
coming from
south.
Denver to Trinidad. Denver to Trinidad, it's on that side of the street, but close to the
It's
port
on
of
the
entry.
southbound lane, right at the bottom of Monument Hill.
I'll have to go look. I don't recall it, so.
Okay, so it's right before you, it would be right before you turn into the port of entry, the state port of entry on the right-hand side, if you're coming south,
If you're going that. Okay.
okay? So I've seen it about 5 times. I've seen Pitcher's Peak, I've seen the golf course, and I think I've seen, I can't remember.
What's on it right now?
It's last,
Is that the green one?
You know, I don't even remember what's on there right now. It does need to be changed though for the summer season, so I'll work on a new ad.
Where's the one that we approved, the new design? Where's that going?
That's
one's-
going up here.
That's,
That's
the,
a big-
Yeah.
yeah, that's the static board from.
That's a board,
Yeah,
regular
when does it
board.
go up?
I'm sorry?
When does it go up?
It's in your packet.
June, no.
It's
September.
next.
It's next, out front.
Oh, okay.
So, and just by comparison, on your agenda, you'll see the two costs. The Mile High Outdoor Billboard that's digital is $9,100. The Out Front Media board that Chris redesigned is $10,015, just by comparison.
And that's for a year, huh?
They're both for a year.
And
I would think that a billboard that's out of town, bringing people as they come down the interstate is probably the billboard that draws people to the town more so. I haven't seen it, and I've been down at least 3 or 4 times since we put it up, but I haven't really,
look,
maybe it's just been the
I
wrong
know,
time.
I'm the
you know?
same way, I've looked a couple times,
Well,
and
see,
I'm
like
just,
I made-
but I've had
Yeah.
enough people tell me that I'm the same way. I
Yeah,
must.
I've just
one of
missed
the
it,
things to
so.
remember is between Springs and Denver, in a week's time, 650,000 people pass
Mhm.
on that highway.
Yeah.
That's how many people are traveling back and forth.
Mhm.
And not only back and forth, but people that are traveling also. But that's how many people see that sign in a week.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to approve this, Dean.
Yeah, it's the one outside of town here, this is the one that we have the Charlie on, correct? Where we're talking about both signs, right?
Yeah, that's in the next one, yes,
Yeah,
out front.
yeah.
And I guess the question, do we want to keep both? Is that?
Well, that's
So
why
let's
I'm
do
bringing
one,
it up, because
sure,
you
one
wanted
at a
that,
time.
so, pardon me?
I said, let's do one at a time, and then we'll go on to the next.
So originally, Marty, we've done away with the few billboards. How many
Yes.
have we done away with?
Just one.
Just one?
We had 3 when we had, no, 2. We did away with 2.
Yeah.
We did away with.
Yeah.
So actually, I think we're in a better position now.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're in an area now where we're getting more traffic. The other one we had was, I think, between Clayton and Raton, and
Mhm.
it had no lights on it. It was, you could only see it in the day. Where this digital one, it plays every, what is it, every 8 to 10 seconds?
It's about 10 seconds.
It comes on.
Yeah.
What was really cool is when I seen Fisher's Peak, I mean, the colors in it.
It was good.
It's vibrant,
just-
yeah.
And it says Trinidad, right?
Right,
Yeah.
it says
Right.
Trinidad, and that's the key.
Yeah,
One of the things I think would be cool is if you could get a picture from the guy who ran the river. Who did
Brad
that?
Kirby?
Brad Kirby. If we could get one of him doing the river,
The floating
The
down the
tube-
river.
tubing?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that would be
It's a great
might be
summer for
a cool one. You know, something, or even downtown maybe, the way it's kind of being revitalized, the Sister Medina Park that's coming up, you know, it's something with colors that's gonna pop, you know, but I think,
Yeah, so.
yeah, I've always wished that we could have some sort of organization. We kind of did at one point with, they had a little program where they took some money and took one building at a time, but you know, when you go to some of these historical towns that have really been upped to their game, like Breckenridge, although our buildings are 1,000 times better than Breckenridge. There is different colors, and it would be so good, like when you go to your little section of
Yeah.
Trinidad, Camilla, you know, you have all that
Yes.
color pop, as if we could get the buildings to coordinate color pop, so you see like yellow and red and purple ahead, and then, you know, would be really fun, because,
Mhm.
you know, that's what all those places do.
and like you said, the main thing is Trinidad.
Mhm,
In
Trinidad.
there, you know, and then with whatever we're selling right behind it.
Yeah, and we
You
can
know.
change the photo on this as
Right.
many times as we
As
want.
long as we want.
Which is
many-
great, so maybe
Yeah.
a series of like 4 or 5 different photos for
Right.
summer season, if we could give them that, change it every couple weeks, that,
You-
I mean, maybe
Now
that's,
through the summer, be great.
sure, we could get art walk, we could get a picture of some live music or Main Street Live.
I don't know
Sure.
if anybody
Yeah.
has seen the commercial of going down the Platte River. And they're tubing down the Platte River, and then there's a little park off to the side of it. And it's really cool, it's really pop, you know, it's all the colors in it and everything, but they've really done an area of that Platte River where that you can go down and tube on it.
Cool.
So,
Yeah,
But I
that
just
would
think-
be another cool photo too. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
It's the river's way up.
yeah.
Okay.
Dirty and
Well,
Yeah.
a little, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely muddy,
sticks.
but
Yeah.
So then, do we have a second?
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Upfront media, so that's your next one. So it is also up for renewal. This is the billboard design that Chris Miller worked on. The cost for this one is $755 a month. It's payable by the year, so it'll expire. It's renewable September. Well, they're asking for a renewal now, but it'll renew in September and expire in September of '22. The $200 is for the new wrap.
And this is the wrap for the full year. Is there an opportunity to change it again? No, okay.
You get one free. You get one wrap per contract period.
Yeah.
And this one is the one that's
And
got the.
what I do have to say about this is that, you know, there's a lot of places up north that understand this, and at one point, the board had decided they were gonna leave those boards go, and, Colorado City snapped up our board and said 50 minutes ahead.
And
gas
see, now they don't
food.
have that anymore.
Well, right, because when they left it go, then fortunately, the old Best Western, the days in,
Yeah.
grabbed it. But I'm just telling you that about this board, if we don't approve it.
Right.
Somebody else has it.
Somebody else will say Walsenburg, right,
We'll
no
snap it up.
place to eat is there, or something.
It's our opportunity before exit 13
Yeah,
Yeah,
to sell Trinidad.
yeah.
So that's,
so it's a small board, but I really hated when I drove by there and would see 50 miles ahead, like gas, food, fun, you know,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, God.
Why go 50 miles when you can pull up right here?
I know.
So,
and
okay,
we have more to offer.
right, right. More than just gas and food.
So we're.
We need a
A
motion.
motion?
And I've been doing a lot of motions.
I'll do it, I motion to approve the board.
I'll second it because I haven't seconded one thing yet.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
We're spending the money today, aren't we?
But I have to tell you that we're doing well in town, so there will be some extra funds that wasn't in budget.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay.
Chamber luncheon sponsorship.
Okay, so Tom, I tried to call you several times last week. I know Thursday you were at the doctor, but I really needed a decision on this, like
I
right
was
then
in
and
pain.
there. This was one of the decisions that I really needed to make. I got a call from Nisha. They're starting up their chamber lunches again. Last year, the tourism board wanted to sponsor a luncheon. And she said, this is the only one that I actually have open. And so it's like, Tom, answer. So I made an executive decision because it was only $200.
Absolutely, you have that authority.
Yeah, you go for it, girl.
You
And
have
I-
that authority. under
And I said, okay, we'll
$2
do,
or something. I'm
we'll
that.
do the June luncheon. So it's
Okay.
next
When-
week.
Next week.
So-
When in June?
Say
June
that
what?
again.
It's that Wednesday. It's
Yeah.
June
We were talking
the
yesterday.
14th, 16th.
Yeah, so Marty, in my eyes, you would have that authority because you have that, what did we give you, 1,500 and
It's
less?
12.
1,200
Yeah.
and less
It's
that you could do?
1,200, but with president's approval.
Oh.
So there's that little
That must have been
code.
when I was feeling good that you did.
It's like, okay, so the last one I got was Tom will call you, so I waited on Friday and nothing, and Saturday and nothing.
You just.
Like, okay, I'm doing this.
So with that, guys, I would like to make a WOW presentation and us all be part of that. We can all take, like, maybe I could tell what's going on with hotels, and you could tell what's going on with entertainment, and you could talk about music, and Camilla, you could talk about the
Main
downtown
Street.
merchants and Main Street.
No.
And then.
I won't
Well,
talk.
we have 15 minutes.
Yeah, come
Fit it
on.
in 15
What are you talking
minutes.
about at the chamber?
Yeah, the Chamber Luncheon, we're sponsoring it, so we could have 15 minutes to talk about the downtown area. And I would love that opportunity for us, no matter if we speak
Well-
or not, we need to do it as a group, I feel, as
I-
long as we're available.
But I also think you ought to tell them about billboards, so everybody can look at that billboard coming down, because I think no one knows where our money is
Well,
going.
right,
Even
that's
if,
stuff
even if
like
you had
that.
a
Right.
shot, don't they put up a screen about things? I think if, in that, we could maybe pull that up.
I think a bullet pointed list that we can leave on the tables too that say, in the last 3 years, the tourism board has da-da, 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 just a bullet point list.
Yeah,
So Tom-
just all the things that we're selling, Trinidad.
Yeah.
But I'm
You
not a
did-
good speaker.
You did a write-up on all of the accomplishments, the tourism board that we were gonna present to the city council. Could you use that?
Yeah, but I'm not.
He's not a good talker.
Well, you don't have to be.
I get too
just
nervous.
Just use that list, though.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah.
the list, okay.
And I
Make
mean,
that list.
I would recommend the list that you gave, Tom, is that you would put the last couple of years, because less happened last year because of COVID.
Right.
So we would be able to.
That's basically
yeah.
what it was based on,
Sure.
the previous year.
Okay.
But
Other
during
things.
COVID,
And-
we did still give back.
Right.
We did still
Absolutely.
things, do
And
things for the
also
community.
things that we're looking forward to,
Mhm.
so it's not only what we
Okay,
do
who's
and what
talking?
we've done.
Because you're not talking.
What
I
time
could,
is
I could
the-
talk a lot, but I
We
get
could,
nervous about it.
yeah, I mean, I think if everybody's comfortable standing in front of everybody, I think that's the way you get really good, is to stand in front of people. And you're in your hometown, and we love you, so you can't say anything wrong.
Yeah.
What time is the lunch? Does anybody
It's
know?
usually 12 to 1.
Usually 12 to 1.
12 to 1.
That is usually the lunch rush at work, but I can talk to Nancy and see if I can be there.
Well, what day was that again?
The
I think
16th.
it's next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
Yep, today's the 9th.
I mean, I don't have any trouble speaking. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm any good or not.
I don't have trouble
Absolutely.
speaking, but it's just in front of people, I get kind of tongue-tied.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna have a breakout session to talk about this a little bit, or are we gonna, I really wanna make sure that we're really professional and really,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, what
You
if Tom gets us that list first?
I'll give everybody a copy
Send an
of that
email
list.
of that accomplishments list,
Okay.
so then we can figure out how many we need to print up for the event and kind of, I don't think we need to, if we have the accomplishment list right here, I think our speaking points should be on other things.
Yeah.
Because they'll have it
Sure.
right there.
They'll have it in
next to
front of
They'll
us,
have
and
the
they can
proof
look
of
at it
evidence
after I
there.
do it.
Maybe a state of tourism economically in our
Totally.
area.
How
or
the
something.
restaurants are doing, how the hotels are doing,
Yeah.
yeah. just-
Because we're selling them on how we represent them.
Yeah.
Right.
If we can't represent ourselves by showing how we're representing them, then,
Because, and I do like the art walk, what's happening downtown, but we could give it general information about the art walk. They know, we need to know where we're putting our money into.
Right.
And how we're doing it, and the people are coming to Trinidad, how our motels are filling up, and different stuff like that. We could do a general of there's a lot of music events happening downtown, a lot of different things happening downtown but that is not our tourist, you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Well, but we're not, well, I don't know how to explain it, never mind.
well, no, I just don't know if, how that should happen, since we can't be more than 3 of us together with the sunshine laws. So that's the only reason why, since it's next week, I'm trying to talk about it really right now.
Right.
How do we,
I think maybe basically we could talk about how we helped restaurants during COVID, what we did for them during COVID. And another thing we could go into is the events that we sponsored in 2019 and 2020, and now in 2021. So we could break it down into those categories like that. The people that we did give money to, the gravel guide, how we are helping the gravel guide. Just all those different things where we have our print at. Even the new guide that we put out and what's in it, we have a lot of, even though we did have COVID, we do have a lot of areas that we did help people in, so.
And, as much as the last year is going to be important for the rest of our lives.
Right.
And our, and generations too, we didn't stall
No.
in 2021. We hit the
We-
ground running
we
on
just-
grant applications. We have been donating money and getting advertisements rolling. So, I guess it depends on if we want to kind of focus on what is happening now and where we're going, or if we want to focus on what we've done.
Right.
You know, I think, yeah, well, I think we'll need to, I think we should have more emphasis on where we're going.
Right.
You know, what our plan is.
Just a short version of where we've been.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And
To not
then
dwell
where
on it
we're
any
going.
longer than we've
Just look at
already
the
done.
grants that we have given out already,
Yeah.
whether it be out of the advertising budget
Mhm.
or a
Right.
regular grant. you
We've
know, where
now, you know,
we-
amended this grant application and said, well, since we can't do it as a grant, we can do it as an
Right,
advertisement
right, you
project.
know.
And so we're getting creative, we're finding ways to help
To
the
help
community. Mhm,
Move forward.
And
Right.
overall, always sponsor Trinidad, always, always.
And a little cheerleading maybe at the end, or, you know, we can break that down to like, what, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, so we can make sure that we have our 15 minutes, not over or not under, because that's always uncomfortable too. If you talk so
Right.
fast that you don't know the 7 or 8 minutes, and I've said everything.
Even another thing too, Si, is a lot of people still don't know where our money comes from.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And,
they don't.
and,
Good
and
to
what
explain it.
what the
Yeah.
hotel industry is doing in Trinidad, along with RBOs or
Right.
there,
Mhm.
you know, how that is really growing in the
And-
city, and where those monies are coming into our pocket
Mhm.
to distribute, you know.
And how passionate we are all to make Trinidad grow and show the best light. And so we are also asking that you and your businesses do the same. Make sure that the outside of your businesses is clean. If you have pots of flowers, to put them outside to actually give a little bit of a cheerleading speech for, 60 seconds of that.
Right.
You know, it's important that, and that you're knowledgeable about the amenities of the city of Trinidad. You're knowledgeable about the museums. You're knowledgeable about our city water park. You're knowledgeable about, Artocade. You're knowledgeable about the festivals that we go on in town. Just a short little recap.
Right, and one thing, like you're saying, is when people host the chamber, it's like one business, or this business, isn't it correct, Marty? Like
Uh-huh.
one business, but we are focused, our business is the city of Trinidad, so we don't, when they come in for, someone's hosting it, like, who does it, like Trinidad Builders might come in, or the gallery, or Mitchell, whoever comes in and sponsors, they're talking about their theme only. We are talking about our city, and that is how we're coming together, not just one entity.
Right.
We're working on the whole city, so we want those windows clean.
Right.
We want our streets clean. We want people to be very positive talking about our town, because people don't, for a merchant, whoever has a merchant, you have no idea. I see so many people, I talk to so many people coming in at the town to talk and say how quaint and why they come to Trinidad, because they don't want a big city, and they love our buildings, and they love our streets. And that's what I think some people in Trinidad need to hear. Not that they think sometimes people are coming just for pot, and they're not.
They're not.
They're not.
And-
And as a merchant downtown, when you hear that, well, I'm just coming because I've been coming here for years, or I've always speed by here, and I said, finally, I'm gonna stop, and we've been doing this now for 3 years because we love it, So that is, we're not focusing on just one business or one performance.
And just, for them to be really proud of what we do, when you think of the hotels, for every $100 they collect, they take an extra $3. There's a girl at the front desk who's taking a phone, who's checking people in. There's people walking down the hallway to take that $3, to put that in here, to put there, at the end of the month, that we can send our checks aside to the city, so us as a tourism board can sit here and promote your businesses in our towns, and let
Right.
them know raw rats.
And that's what they
happens.
should
It's not
know,
because
where we
somebody
get our
writes down a
money
big
from.
check.
Right,
Everybody
seeing
that's
that.
working at the hotel right now is part of tourism, and I tell them that. Because the better service that we give is the higher rates that we
Right.
give, which is more tourism money that we get, which is taken to a group of 5 people downtown who are making sure that there's road signs somewhere, that they're trying.
And I'm sure 90% of the people in Trinidad don't realize where our tourist money,
Yeah.
the money we're spending, where it comes from.
Mhm.
They're at the end.
Okay, so
All right.
how about this?
Yeah, so how do we do it?
So first 5 minutes, we decide, I think this will be yours, to explain how the tourism tax is collected, what it means to bring people in, how many people are involved in tourism,
Mhm.
essentially. It's not just us, it's not just the hotels, it's the restaurants, it's the live
The
music.
gas station person, the
The-
person checking in
exactly.
somebody, the person that has a
Yeah.
problem in a hotel and goes to the front desk, how, They have taken care of the problem, means how they stop back in Trinidad again, and how we get our extra $3 to put on the table here so that we can do our money to pay for a sign in Denver, you know, to really let them realize how many people are working for tourism. And if you take all the hotels and restaurants in this town, it is the highest employer in this county. And, you know, to let them understand we are tourism. We're not going to grow our town with just blessedly so a coal mine or this or that. That's wonderful that they came in, but something nobody can ever take away from us is our front door if we choose to keep it clean.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay.
With that thought, that's really good.
That, write that
Yeah,
down.
right, yeah,
And,
say
and then you
that.
talk. I'm sure you're gonna take that 15 minutes in a heartbeat, honey. I know you're gonna take that 15 minutes in a heartbeat.
No, I don't want
We'll put
to.
a
I
timer
think
on
it's
her.
collectively, like all the people that are standing around us and bringing this money to us for other reasons, it's collectively us. We have to make the city, or we can try to help make the guests to the luncheon understand how passionate we are, and we're passionate about your business. And we want to have a collection of mom and pops downtown so that our children don't leave town because they feel like they don't have a job and they don't have a place by themselves, and they move to Springs or Denver or somewhere even farther away. You know, so if you can sustain an income, a family income, by having a store that's a family store, isn't that what we want? I mean, that's what I want. I don't want a bunch of Applebee's downtown. I want to know that when I leave this world, and however I do, that there's children growing up now that can they go back to riding a bike downtown, that we have neighbors, that it's a better life experience for them.
I think even for the citizen, for that person who's looking for that place to go, to be cordial, you know.
I think that's the biggest thing, and that's what I hear about, and I do hear.
I think that's huge, is
some
when
negativity
you as a
from
citizen
places.
sell your
I do.
town, that
Yeah.
opens the door to a lot of people, because how many towns do you go to? Cheetah was a nice guy that I talked to, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's everybody making your town a place that
Right.
somebody wants to come and see.
And if that's okay, I think I'd like to take that portion because I believe in myself and employees to become ambassadors for Trinidad.
Right.
As people come through Moose's, when they came through Bob and Earl's, the question I get asked all the time, what is fun to do here? What can I do while
I
I'm
do
in town?
constantly ask that.
And it's one of my favorite things to respond to because I have learned so much about this town. I have learned so much about what I love to do in this town, so I can share experience. I can venture out, and you know, if somebody's not necessarily interested in the live music, they want something quieter. They'd like to go to a museum, and so if that, I think we could do, you know, first 5 minutes to talk about tourism tax and what we've been doing. Mention that we've got a list of accomplishments at your table if you'd like to look at some of the things we've funded over the last few years. And then kind of move into this idea that as business owners, you should encourage not only yourselves, but encourage your employees to always be ambassadors of Trinidad.
That's the biggest thing, and I don't want to talk, you talk, but I think that's the biggest thing. I had a couple come in here, and I think they moved, and by the time they left my shop 20 minutes later, and they said, we have learned more from you than we have learned since we've been here for the whole week. And no matter where it was. And my one goal was to walk every path here in Trinidad, and I think I did it.
Nice.
And so I could send people to the walking, because people say, where do you go, where do we go walk? And I think that's the biggest thing, and I do hear complaints when they say, so-and-so down the street was not as friendly as you are. But we all have our bad days. So,
Right.
But we all have to encourage everybody to give the best and your best knowledge when they walk in and out of your store. And I think, because that leaves a big impression on everybody. It does.
It does.
Besides people at the motel, people at the gas stations, if we leave, the restaurants, we leave a huge impression on everybody.
Definitely. Yep.
Okay?
Yep. I chased somebody down because she forgot her bag yesterday.
You bet.
And she was like, oh, I'm coming back. She was like, that was the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me. I said, well, that's what we should be doing, you know?
Yeah.
And another thing to maybe, I know we haven't gotten there yet, but once we talk about the frontline employee training, that could be something else we could pull into that part of being an ambassador, of maybe, you know, coming up is going to be this frontline training,
Okay.
date, time, you know, how to get your employees to be a part of that. And then Chris, I think we should have you talk about events, or, you know, what this, kind of give us hope for the summer. I think you could take us into this really cool, like, narrator type of, I'm very good at that.
Yeah.
Type of scenario of what the summer is going to look like here in Trinidad. Maybe some of the things we've got going on, which I'm sure all these
Some
people
of
are
the things that
locals,
we sponsor, some of the grants.
Some of
we
the
get.
grants we
Sure.
sponsor, yeah.
And if there's what else do you think? Do you think there's anything else we should include, or anybody else think that there's something else that should
No,
be
I think we should
included there?
focus on how we help our community and where our money comes from.
Yeah,
I think,
specifically what we've done to
right,
advance, the future of
Right.
tourism and everything. What's coming up, we can't list all the activities,
Right.
because there's some things we didn't do. One real quick one on the frontline employees training, all that stuff, and what you're talking about. I went to the Texas Tourism Industry Association. There was a long seminar on just looking at what San Antonio did. San Antonio's got the Alamo,
Right.
of course, music part of those things, but they weren't getting the response. And their tourism board went in and went through several incentive programs with employees, taxi cab drivers to gas station employees. Obviously, the motels were the first because most of them were trained to kind of do that anyway. And the convenience stores, everything that would hit. And they had incentive programs that within 10 years, they were voted, San Antonio was voted the friendliest town in the U.S. and I think it was American Bus Association, somebody that they had basically trained their population to be tourism ambassadors. And you literally, from the time you got off the plane till,
You left.
that's what they were doing. Just, even the beggars on the street almost, were,
Well,
hi, I need
basically-
10 cents and we're so glad you're here, things like that. And you wouldn't think of a city like San Antonio with its history and its tourism would need to do something, and they proved that it made a big, big difference.
There was really a good, at the conference that we went to in Vail, how after they had that shooting in Las Vegas, they created an entire new program of advertising Las Vegas. And there was, I think, a couple there, a gal there from the chamber. But the presentation they pulled out about selling Vegas after that was pretty powerful.
that was very
It
powerful.
was powerful as to how they.
Well, Broadway.com is a big thing that all the Broadway stuff in New York, and
Right.
they're starting that now.
Right.
Because tourism is dead in New York. And they're worried that it's not going to come back. They don't know where they're going to open, Broadway and those things. And because they've seen this,
Right.
Vegas and things like that happen, they're already being proactive. We're in
I
such
think
good
that's
shape
what's
here that
happening.
we can just build on what we've already done.
okay.
All right, so we're good with that one?
So, yep, so just so we're clear, your first 5 minutes?
Well, I'll take 3 or 4 since
Sure.
there's all of us.
We don't have to fill the
But-
full 15.
But
I don't
I
need to
think
talk.
we should
I'm not
all
talking.
take time to be with Tom this week separately, since we can't meet as a group.
Right.
So that we can actually hash this out, and/or I would suggest we have a short meeting. Because I don't want to drop the opportunity of a June tourism meeting and letting the community give them a cheerleading conversation about our summer, but let them know also what we do and how important we have to bond
I think that's the
together.
biggest thing, what we do and where we get our money from and how we support
Right,
our
I think this
community.
is just a short presentation
Yeah.
of where we've been, where we're going, and what we're doing.
If you'll give me that list, Tom, then I'll
Okay.
put something together for the tables.
Okay.
Okay, so do we want to have a short meeting, or do we just want to meet with you separately?
We'll just, I could just meet with each
Okay,
one
separately, okay.
I just need a motion because I'll have to.
I make a motion to approve this
request-
presentation that we're going
For
for.
your $200.
For your $200.
Sorry, it
Second.
wasn't.
Second.
All
Somebody.
in
I'll
favor?
second.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Reprint I'm not the boss.
Go ahead, you're the one that's in a
I really
hurry.
want to push this.
I'm pushing this.
Come on, let's go this, move it, move it.
Reprint restaurant inserts.
Okay, so.
I motion.
I contacted Tom because
I
we're
love
out. I have been making copies on the printer in the in the Welcome Center office, because we already ran out of these. They have been flying off the shelf.
Make a motion, we approve it.
Thank you. Well, there will be two additions to it, plus the corrections. We removed Big Daddy's, we changed Walters to Club 14.
Thank you.
So made all the updates to it. We also added the tourism logo on the front page, down here in the corner, kind of revised this little section here.
You did that?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then.
Did you put the QR code?
Hold on.
Okay.
And then on the inside, on the right, bottom right, in that red section where it says visit trinidadcolorado.com, that's where the QR code's
Okay,
going.
good.
So
The reason I brought that up to you, Marty, was because they separate.
They do.
At one point, they'll
They do.
separate, and it was important for me to make sure that that QR code was on there and the tourism.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, so Camilla made a
Make a
motion. Do we have a second?
I will second.
And one other thing on that one. Do you think maybe we should print more instead of 5,000 to take us through the rest of the summer?
No, because if we get new
Restaurants?
restaurants, that
And-
was the reason they
They
did
already
it.
said 2 new restaurants.
And
That
then-
was the
and
reasoning
then-
behind
And
it.
then one other one. Ballaloona had the possibility of maybe opening.
But they're not opened and we're not sure, so I would not put them on there.
Somebody
You'll
needs
have
to
to
do
wait till the
something.
And
next
you may
round.
have, you may have said this, but the wing pit, I don't see it on here. And, the creamery, I do not see on here.
They're under a different one,
A
aren't they?
different one.
The wing pit is under T. So if you go T's Retreat, Meet Tequila's, the wing pit, that's how
Oh,
they're.
okay, sorry.
Okay, and then Trinidad Creamery, you go 2 more, Tony's Diner, and then Trinidad Creamery.
Good job.
Is there anything else, anybody?
Well, I just do know that, but they're not there yet, but I do know they're gonna open within 30 days, but it's not.
Who?
Is at the food court, Naaman and are doing
So tasty.
Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana cooking. I mean, we're going places, guys.
Yeah.
So they're not there yet.
Drop
so-
City Coffee is in there
Yes.
too.
Oh, yeah, Drop City
And they're
Coffee.
doing pizzas now.
Yeah, oh, that is so cool.
I know, right?
There's not enough for me to visit all of her restaurants.
Well, Drop City Coffee should be in there because they do coffee desserts too.
And he's got, you're right, he's got that pizza up and he's gonna
Yeah,
start doing
he's-
pizza.
So the only change I'm
He is
making
doing
is
it.
Drop City Coffee?
Right.
I think so.
Right, yeah.
Along with the other changes you'd already made.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thanks, Marty.
Motion to approve then, Tom.
But I think this is really a cool thing.
Yeah,
I do too. I love that it comes out. I think.
Okay, I'm making a
this
motion
is
to
something you can
approve.
put in your purse.
Second,
Second?
all in favor?
So with-
Opposed?
You don't get to talk no more.
And so with that, I think that at our luncheon, we need to make sure we have these along
These.
with that cheat sheet.
There you go.
Sure. And
That's
you could
it.
actually put that cheat sheet folded lengthwise in here so they get it and open it up and pull it out and see that there is a restaurant guide
Yeah,
on the tables.
that might be a good theme right there, yeah, huh? Yeah, let
Yeah.
those people know where the money's
Okay.
going to.
Marty will, I guess, we just increase your workload.
Reprint Highway of Legends brochure.
Okay, so the Highway of Legends is also out of their brochures again. Last time we split the cost with Huerfano County. We printed 5,000. And they're asking if we would like to split the cost with them again.
Do you have a motion?
What's the number on that?
What's the
I don't
most?
have it right now. Our meeting is not
It
until
wasn't. I
Friday.
don't think it was that.
It wasn't very.
It wasn't a
wasn't.
whole lot, no.
Like $1,000 a whole lot or 500?
I think it was
1,200 or 12.
No, I think it was 2,500. The total cost was 5,000 and we split it 2,500.
And the other reason I say that, is there anything that we could, is there any sort of a QR code, like Tom said, or something that could be put on those? No.
It's just a reprint, right?
It's a reprint.
Just if you could just remind them if they ever do.
We are. We will be doing a reprint because we are now a national byway, so we
Right.
have to reprint it,
Redesign it.
because we have to add
If
that
we
it's a
could,
national
if we could
byway.
have a little portion of it to maybe.
Absolutely.
All right, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Keep going, Pamela, keep going.
All in favor?
We're on that camera. We love
Be short minutes,
Aye.
and just say Camilla made a motion to approve everything.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
That's my new job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff reports.
The only report I have right now is the trolley route and the schedule. We have had to alter the schedule because we're not open on Sundays and Mondays. So the trolley is operating from 10 to 4 or 10 to 5 Tuesday through Saturday. So I wanted to make you aware of that.
I'm sorry, say that again, Marty?
Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
So it's not operating on the days that you're closed?
No,
And so 10 to 5 is the last tour at 4?
4.
Okay.
And then the route has changed a bit. The route is now leaving the Welcome Center. It circles around on Prospect, goes back on College Street, and then it resumes a normal route. Right now, we can't go up Maple or Chestnut because of the construction. So it's heading out to Main Street. We didn't have permission to go to the hospital because of COVID. I just got permission from Kim yesterday that they can go in, but they have to wear their masks. We also have to limit passengers to 13 because we can only have 50% capacity. And that's a protocol set by the Transportation Department because of COVID. And so every other tour, he's taken Santa Fe Trail Byway one time and going to Artocade, and the other time he's going out to the hospital. So we're alternating those two routes.
Good.
And then we're doing a circle around the park. We want to keep the interest up for Santa Fe Trail Bicentennial, so he's pointing out the DAR marker as well as the Kit Carson statue. There's also a beautiful view from Simpson's Rest from right there too, so he's pointing that out. We are also going to the Archaeology Museum. It is back open. She is limited to how many people can go inside though, but she's opening the doors. We have to call and have her open the doors when we arrive. So just wanted to make you aware of those changes.
Thanks, and you mentioned that about the Santa Fe Trail celebration, and I know that you and Tom have been doing a lot, and I know that I see all the notes that you send out, and thank you for that. That's such a huge deal. I haven't been able to attend any of that, but that is such a huge deal. Thank you.
It's coming along. Thank you. The other one is a craft recovery grant that I am working with Talitha and Wally to see if we can get some funding. It has to be a tourism or a DMO that submits that grant. So you don't need to know all the particulars, just that at the end of the road we might get some money that we can use for the city for tourism. So it's very convoluted. It would take me the next hour to explain the whole semantics of it. So just know that we're working on it. And that's all I have. Numbers are up at the Welcome Center, by the way.
Awesome. What are they?
They're averaging between 100 and 125 a day.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's still the lowest in the state. I mean, other people are like 500, 575 a day. It's what it is.
125 is good for location, where we're set, drive people down there, people are,
Yeah.
those are good numbers.
Board reports. Key card.
Key card contractors, well, I am sorry I didn't bring the actual key card with me today. So I guess we'll have to put that off. I really don't have anything to say except for what I showed you, and it's a great tool in Trinidad to use, and it really is a highlight. I don't have those numbers. I don't have the dollars that would cost, so next meeting I'll bring them to you.
I'll put it on the next agenda.
Okay, thanks.
And when's the next round of grant applications coming through?
Well, that being said, it should have opened in June, but in the financial report that was at the last work session, we're going to have to go over that again at the next work session because there's almost this much left in our grant funding.
Okay.
And that's, I think, when just you and I were here, I wanted to be able to move some money. So so we can make sure that we have it for the rest of the year, because we can do it one time. So I
Right.
wanted to make sure that we did that to take us through the rest of the year.
Okay.
But maybe you can get us,
So financials will be
Right.
on the next work session. You can look at what you have available to move,
Right.
where we are currently with our balances
And-
on our
and-
balance sheet.
Okay.
right, and I know that you probably have the receipts from the end of April, right?
March, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
they
March,
first quarter.
March, so you would have the first quarter?
I'll have the first quarter.
Okay.
You might repeat that the guys showed up for that meeting,
Yeah.
That was it, yeah.
mostly absent.
So Tom, you had mentioned that you thought it would be a good idea for the tourism board to be involved in the Greenway Foundation
Yeah.
meetings and the
Thanks.
outdoor rec.
I'll go tomorrow.
So there is one again tomorrow, just to let you know.
And then at Frontline, I called Nisha right after we had that meeting, but she never got back with me, so.
I would try again.
Okay.
She just letting you know, they had, two of their daughters were involved in an ATV rollover accident.
Oh, really?
One of the girls was flown Flight for Life to Colorado
Oh,
Springs.
gee, that's
Home,
terrible.
she had a compound fracture of her femur. Anyway, is that your femur? Humerus? What bone is that? Femur's your leg. I think it's a humerus. Anyway, it was like poking out of her arm and she was unconscious. So everybody's home. They're all recovering. They're very thankful, but you know, it was
So is
crazy.
she back to work? Do you know if she's back to work?
I think she's back today.
Okay. I guess, Camilla, you can adjourn this meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Look at this. We got you 5
Look at
minutes
that.
right here.
You did good, guys.
That's 25. You're good, guys, thank you. The first time, the first time I had the farmer's market meeting, it went over, and everybody was talking. The second time I brought my little
I
bag,
gathered that.
and it ended at 6:10, we went to buy 6:10, everybody clapped. They said, you did good, Camilla. I said, I know, ring that bell
You
now.
like your bell.
But I might lose that house, you know,
So that's how
because,
she
you
got
know,
it.
tables and
And so
chairs,
was
and
it-
it was
it's a
on fire,
Sure.
and, you know, they just didn't go
Why?
the way we wanted it
Never
to
asked
go.
her. She's on
You know,
the
living all one day.
video. One of
Anyway.
our old meetings.
Anyway, what was I gonna ask you?
Yes.
You're not
She
gonna
gave
do
a
it,
rate
right?
that was amazingly low.
Yeah.
My,
Yeah, so
one of
she
my
does
business
it for people in town, because she lives here.
and I
And
really
I
don't
really
tour,
that,
but I.
I know.
But maybe, yeah, maybe the guys will play. I don't know if they'll still be interested.
We wanted
And the
to.
college's name is.
Sorry.
No,
I
I
said,
get
oh,
it.
I don't know who they would get to be, Jason is, I think Jason was gonna talk
Yeah, her
about it.
fees
I wanted your voice,
is,
I think you make the
amazing.
band, sorry.
Just
Okay,
embarrassing.
well,
Yeah.
But I, you know, I told you.
That's okay.
All
All
your
fine.
years of Christian and
Right here.
You finally got it, but there.
I
it
didn't
is.
have to push too hard. Jerry just doesn't talk. I might push him, he doesn't want me to talk because he doesn't know what they're doing. There's other board members he's got to talk to, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk like that, but I do anyway. What the hell? That's, you know. But that's right.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to,
So how'd
The
you
next time we
the
can
next
do it.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I keep telling you that.
Our rates-
Council in June,
Well,
we're
we
having
have-
a July one,
we
we're
have
having
the
our August one.
hospital
Maybe we can work
contracts,
on
and then
something
we're building
later
a hospital
in
for 40 hours.
September.
Sure.
And, he just looked at me and I said, you could.
Contract to make it for like 25 years.
You can, you know you can, so.
So that's
We'll
56,
see.
right? We'll see. So, okay, next year.
Because I know he was ready to come to council, the one in June, but.
I'm sure.
Yeah, what about the rest?
He wanted to,
You get
but
work?
low key.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
going low
absolutely,
key
we
now.
started for it. Everybody
That-
had
that
a
is
tough
probably
time
good.
last
You've heard it,
April,
yes.
May, June, and a bit of
Okay,
July.
I guess I could go, not talk with you anymore. I'm the one that wanted to push everything through.
Yeah, and here you're gonna sit there and narrate.
Why did I matter here, Marty?
It's my, I gotta go find this.
I talked to Judy the other day and she said,
Yeah.
my God, I have to learn a lot about Colorado, but it's so interesting.
People that have seen it.
She said, there's places, you know, that I didn't know about or didn't know. She said, you really do a lot.
I'm big.
You know how old that lady is?
Yeah,
You told
I-
me. I told her about last night how she goes. And she took
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
But if it's not the
I
right
said,
traffic,
they phoned me out of it a little
it
bit.
isn't the right traffic. I mean, I don't know.
I think it's
think
the
it
right
is.
traffic now for anybody, because everybody wants to get out of where they're at.
And they're just hitting the
You know,
interstate
they-
and going a direction.
And just,
Yeah.
if you start looking on Thursday, what's coming down from up north, even before, summer started, you know, like, April and May and March, that traffic starts picking up.
Well, what are we offering that they can't get at home up there, as far as things to do? What are we offering Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma? A whole lot more.
Yeah.
And I, of course, I'm a little leaning towards that because that's the way I've come forever and people I know. And I remember the old billboard that was between Clayton and Raton. It was a left side reader, and it wasn't lit, and it was ugly.
But you know, I also do believe when I talk to the people that are coming from Texas and down from Coral Springs, it's not about what we have to offer. It's them getting out of their big cities and they
Right.
love
That's
our buildings and they
that's-
love
That's
Trinidad.
the key thing, getting away from.
And I'm gonna be very honest. They compliment our businesses, how friendly we are downtown. They really do. I mean, I've got ladies come in there and say, I cannot believe how friendly you people are in the merchants. Your stores down, how friendly they are. And it's not about coming and what we, like, people don't come in my store and say, what can I do? They come in and say, we love your town, we're getting out of the busy streets, we're getting out of the traffic, we're coming down because it's beautiful, it's quaint down here. I show them where the walks are, I tell them where to go walking, I tell them to go different places, and it's a world of information out there, and I hope every store down there can offer information. But I do believe it's not about, and they want something to do, but it's not about necessarily saying, they're very content to come down here, walk our streets, go into the restaurant, stay in a motel, and not really do anything, because their whole lives are busy, driving in big cities, driving this, driving there, and they just want someplace to chill.
Like I have grandkids, and if we go to Denver, you take them to that aquarium. Well, you're there 4 hours just getting through the hundreds and hundreds of people. And those people want to get out of that, you know.
They do, they want to walk the streets, they want to go down to the park, they want to do different things like that. It's not about having something to do, they just want to come
Well,
and relax.
we do need some attraction.
Oh, I agree with you, and we do need more stores downtown. I'm a
We
huge
do.
advocate.
We absolutely
We do need more
We need
stores
another
downtown.
minimum of 10, the way that Camilla stores, a minimum of 10.